I got a couple bug reports that bots were flying around the arena and kind of pointed out that was jetpacks, not glitches. But yeah, so are you guys updated to 0.32? I probably released it while you guys were streaming, so okay, awesome, cool. And there's already like 13 people online playing the new version, which is cool. Which is really that's okay. Yeah, sure, of course.
Welcome back, everybody! Why do I have the Skype thing still on?
Dodgeball!
Do you need a $2 value pack from
Whoa!
McDonald's?
$2?
Apparently they're one of our sponsors now.
Sweet! McDonald's, yo.
That being said, McDonald's has sponsored Eric Asmussen on the show. How's it going, Eric?
Good, thanks. That's actually my face down there. That's my computer camera.
You're
I have that ad stapled to my forehead.
Eric's actually a hamburger.
Oh, man. So, let's give a little background to one of my absolute favorite games on Steam, Disco Dodgeball. Do you want to give a quick synopsis, and then I want to talk about a little bit of the history?
I'm going to give a synopsis after he gives a synopsis.
Okay, go ahead, Eric.
Give my best. So you fly around a dance club in these jet-powered robots, and you just nail each other with dodgeballs.
Yes!
Yeah, I couldn't really say anything better. I was just saying, you're a robot, and you throw balls at other robots.
Yeah. And, Might Be Giant actually found this game about this time last year.
It was the BWE group that somebody was throwing around the preview the trailer for.
Oh yeah, the amazing trailer.
That trailer. It's Sunday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
But
then
I just was like, I want to play this, and then you gave me like 18 bazillion codes.
Yep.
Yeah.
To give to people.
And then that really helpful. Like right in the beginning, I gave out just thousands of keys. Like I just wanted to get as many people aware of the game as possible, and I think that gave me kind of a good base because then it started all these different circles of people that were playing the game and talking about it, and so it's kind of ridden that wave ever since then. So for anyone that's particularly for a multiplayer game, if you're starting out with something, just like give away keys like they're nothing, because you have to. That's the only way you're going to get people to check out your like super early game. So.
Yeah, well said.
And even super early, like, everybody loved it because the game, I mean, it was still in its simple phase where you only had 3 modes and...
when it was like boxes?
You were playing an exclamation mark.
Yeah, I remember those days.
With no textures.
And then we had you on the show the first time, I think, when we got to show the game off on Steam.
Yeah. Was that our 2-hour show? That
was a 2-hour show, because the first hour we did the blocks. Oh, this new song. Oh my god.
We'll talk about the music eventually.
But then the second hour we got to show it on Steam, which was awesome for us.
Yeah, it changed everything.
Yeah.
It's crazy for me too, because you've been playing Steam for so long, and it's always someone else's game that's up there, and you're always like, oh man, it's like getting your game on like Nintendo or something, right?
Yeah, totally.
Everyone's always dreams of that. So, but obviously now Steam's a little more open, so it's slightly less big of a deal now. But at the time, it was still pretty cool. So and it's been like huge for the game. Like it's been so much like people just buy things a lot more readily when it's on Steam. So it's been really nice.
You also had a lot of support with YouTube, if I remember right, because I know Markiplier played it, and Evergiant actually played with Markiplier.
Yep.
That was awesome. I was once I heard he was playing Disco Dodgeball, I immediately I turned on my game as quick as I could, and I had room typed in.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for him to accidentally show it because I knew he was.
Yeah.
There's no way you can't show it, and he shows it. I'm like, I'm in.
There was one frame where the room name was visible.
Yeah, that's all it took, and I'm just like, done. I'm in. I'm playing. So I played Disco Dodgeball.
Yeah, so I have like a tragic story about. So he does a bunch of charity live streams.
Oh yeah.
And he was doing one super recently, and he had like 40,000 people watching, and I'm like at the beach or something. Like I have no idea any of this is happening, but I open my phone and I see like 40 things about Disco Dodgeball. I'm like, oh god, like something is happening. And he's basically doing this live stream, and like I think he's probably mentioned that he's gonna play Dodgeball later, and like everyone's like really excited about it, like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. And like last time he did it, like the game sold really well for another week. It just gets a ton of people
Yeah.
into the game, and it's always like an amazing thing for it. And then it just kind of stopped. Like there weren't any more updates. And I realized later, I went back and saw the video that they couldn't get the game to launch.
Oh no!
So they never not playing it, and it wasn't a crash in the game. It was some stupid Unity bug.
Oh
with
my
some
god!
video card. So I think I've got it figured out. But the other thing is like this would have been the second time that he'd played it as kind of the finale of this live stream.
Yeah.
And so if I've like ruined the chance that he's ever gonna play it again because it like broke on him during the live stream.
Oh god, I hope not.
So I'm like doing everything I can to fix this problem and like get back to them. And I swear it wasn't my fault. And just like get them, playing this game again because
Yeah.
it's amazing when they do that. So
That's funny.
It's like, oh, what's such a wasted opportunity.
It's a common theme though. I've done quite a few charity live streams lately, and like the finale or the end of the live stream, we always end up on Disco Dodgeball and just shoot each other's faces off.
Right. It's such a good way to blow off all the steam of like. Of just getting everything else ready to go and like setting up all these games, just like kind of relax and just hit each other with dodgeballs is a good way to finish it off.
So I do want to get into the game here pretty quick.
Yeah, let's do it.
I did want to ask about a couple updates: the streamer mode update, the new textures which you've redone again, and then the music because you can actually get the album now. I saw. And it's awesome.
So on Bandcamp, you can just look for a Disco Dodgeball, and I think since now there's 13 tracks on it, 11 or 13 tracks. Now the minimum price is like $4, but yeah, all the music is good. It's all just like random independent people that I found online that either contacted me or I liked the work they had done, and I think they all did just amazing stuff. I can't believe these people aren't world famous. So I'm hoping to like take these people and like give them a platform to like show off their music a little more because they're all like really crazy good artists.
The first one that everybody needs to look at is Adhesive Wombat.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Sorry. Loading the game.
Absolutely.
It is room 362 for anybody that wants to come join. We have bots on right now, but we can easily turn that off later.
For elimination teams.
Yeah, 362. Room 362.
Yes.
But
and if don't see the room, then you might need to update to 0.32.
Yes, yeah, because there's a new update that literally launched while we had our other guests in the show.
It's always good to live stream on a version that's brand new. So
yeah, a common theme with us in Disco Dodgeball.
Or
we'll do a little bit of testing.
Elimination.
Oh, it's first to 5. Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
No, it's there's 5 players I think in this.
Right. So
Here's
that's
one.
one of the why things I need to fix is it should really show like bot heads, and that's the number of bots that are left.
Oh yeah.
The numbers are a bit misleading. So the round score is 1 to 0. Oh, there you go.
There.
Someone just reset it.
Yeah, I just reset it.
Okay.
There you go. We've got enough people. I just turned bots off. It'll be more fun that way.
Yeah, there's more fun. Yeah, so that's one of those like tiny UI things that has to get better over time.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot.
For every one thing that you fix, there's another 10 things that's on your mind that you want to fix again.
Yeah, it's and this happens with everything. Like you fix one thing and make it look good, and then everything else looks like crap. Next. Okay, so we have a player called MM4005 in here. They are ridiculously good.
Oh no!
Epic Sneevy. They're over level 100, so they've been playing for
wow.
I would say 100 or 200 hours, maybe.
Wow.
So
I've been playing for.
Oh.
I'm level 14.
Yeah.
But I did see the highest levels. I was just looking at the leaderboards, and level 140 is the highest.
Yeah. And so fortunately they're on opposite teams, so it should be nice and even, but just try to take them out as soon as you can.
Are they
I'd rather take
this?
you out.
Oh, I caught that.
Oh, I respawned. Someone must have gotten a catch.
Oh, nice.
I'll take it. Who's left? We got one more player. Shot. So who's on my team? So it's just you and me, MBG.
Whoa!
Okay, I'm okay with this.
I got launched all the way across the
Alright. I'm sure one of them will.
So we were chatting about the music before. Where did you meet all the people the additions you have in the soundtrack? How did you get in touch with them?
So the latest tracks, there's 3 new ones from an artist called Kraet, Kraedt.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they just contacted me out of the blue. I think they had seen it on the Markiplier stream, and they had emailed me a while back, and I listened to the music and I loved it. Oh man! And but I needed to do some prep for like actually getting my company started because I didn't want to sign a whole bunch of contracts with, just me. Wanted to create 82 apps with the company. So it just took forever for me to do that. And then I finally got it sorted out and let him know that I was ready to go ahead. And I was dying because the music was so good and so perfect for the game. And I was happy that I could finally make that happen.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, it's just a guy from like Wisconsin who like writes amazing electronic music. So I would love if this game blew up to the point where like he gets a wider audience.
Yeah. I'm
same with the other
guys too.
artists on the track. So
that's really cool. I love your lightning bolt. I still would love to. Get,
you said you were gonna do. You said you were gonna do one for me, but then I never got around to actually.
Yeah, same.
Thinking about it.
I just need a little icon for you guys, and I'll put it right on your bot.
Okay.
Free charge.
I'm gonna actually do that tonight then.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brola, I love you. Zombie.
Open up customization to more people. Just everybody loves that. What a person. You have the match limit at 6, by the way, or more, because maybe more people want to join.
20. Let me just check. It shouldn't be. It should be 12.
After. Oh, we're going to 20, so that's a ways. You can change that whenever you want.
Players I have set to 12.
12. Okay, cool.
My current issue is that I'm playing on my laptop, and it's really...
Sorry, I'm going to reset it. I don't want to go to 20. I want to show off more levels.
Yeah.
Because I love the lighting and stuff you've done. I mean, you have to be the hardest working indie dev I think I know.
I don't think that's true. I do work a lot. But, it's just like all the stuff, it has to get done, right? Like, and it's a little tough like when you have your game already on sale, and particularly with a multiplayer game, is like I'm trying to reach this critical mass, and the longer, there's always the fear that the community will just like stop. Like if there's not a lot of cool new stuff down the road, and the game's not like in a state where it can kind of survive on its own, there's the fear that it'll just disappear. That all the work I've done up to now will then become useless because I never get that critical mass. So there's a little bit of fear kind of driving the.
Well, all you gotta do is the next step. Turn it into an MMO.
Well, so my perspective on like, what'll make the game stickier, I guess, like give it a little more traction for new players. It's got to have more single player content, and I think there's it's a multiplayer game. Like I want to get people obviously playing multiplayer, but once you get people playing the game a lot on their own, then they're way more likely to kind of keep playing it and then check out multiplayer as well. Also, I think new players will just really want to practice on the single player before they jump into multiplayer. So I've been working on all these, calling them challenge modes, and they're a series of kind of scenarios where you have special power-ups or a special kind of condition. For instance, like you have a jetpack and really strong homing dodgeballs. And you have a bunch of teammates that will just alley-oop you dodgeballs while you try to get as many kind of godlike and alley-oop kills as possible in 3 minutes.
Cool.
Right, and so they're all leaderboard driven. They're all these like super high skill modes that you can then play forever. And the other big component is a progression element. So all these levels that people have been accruing while the game's been out, you can use those levels to upgrade your bot, which will then give you a chance at kind of a better leaderboard score. So I think those two, like the competition of the leaderboards and that progression system will keep people, like, they'll give them a reason to play the game for 10, 20, 30 hours right off the bat, even if they'd never jump into a multiplayer game at all.
Most cube captions in one game is 427.
Yeah. Right, so I've had a couple players do that kind of thing where like they set up their own challenges for themselves, and this player just wanted to see
Why did I just get blessed? No.
What's
Sorry.
the most cube captures I can get in whatever amount of time I want?
Yeah.
They did it 400, like, I think that was like half an hour just capturing cubes because they wanted to set this record. Right, so I think, and that's not even to me like a very interesting challenge because you're just racing around, capturing the cube 400 times. So I'd love to give something that's a little more, you know, kind of takes the rules of the game and allows you to break them. So in another mode, you're invincible, and your goal is to just like get as many as possible in 3 minutes, and you just feel like this kind of dodgeball god because you're by yourself, and you're just destroying as many, like, just these waves of enemy robots. And that's something you don't get to do in the multiplayer at all. And so it really does change the game in a way that I think will give people just a ton of stuff to do.
Definitely. Also, I just wanted to say, Archer Mar in chat says that he appreciates how much work you put into this game.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, it's funny because, like, just before I came on, there's a story on Reddit about Stomping Ground.
Oh, yeah.
Early access title, and, like, they hadn't done any updates, and for months they had done no communication, and then I guess today they just removed it from sale, so it's still on the Steam page.
Oh, really?
So, you know, I don't know, you know, maybe they're changing engines or doing some other, like, really long-term update, but
Yeah.
like, horrible communication. Well, no communication, right?
Yeah.
Even bad communication, just none of it. And so, and you get all these, like, really angry people. And so, oh, nice catch, Cherry Boy.
Brola.
Cherry Brola.
Cherry
And
Brola.
so, it just, to me, like, when you put a game on early access, like, you know, you're committing that this game's, like, that you have the resources and abilities to finish this game according to kind of what you've promised.
Totally.
And it's just like, it's a contract at that point. And, like, yeah, like, there's no kind of refund ability, but I would say, you know, I mean, Kickstarter too, you have a moral, ethical obligation to complete what you started, but it's almost a little more understandable with a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Because, like, you haven't even built the game, you haven't really sold it, you haven't, like, you know, and yeah, stuff comes up, and yeah, you overpromise, and those are problems that you don't want, but there's something about selling it on early access and then just never updating it. I just can't comprehend why someone would or could do that.
It almost seems like they're like, oh, I got the money now, I can just take my time.
Yeah, I don't know, because I don't think we've heard a lot of the other sides of the stories yet.
No, that's very true.
With Towns was
Oh, crap.
I feel like that was like an early access game that then they just, like, released and said we're done, and people were upset. They were expecting more, but at least that was like they said
They still released.
what we originally said. Like, maybe we didn't do some things we had promised later on, but at least, like, the core was done.
Yeah.
It's really follow that one too closely, but it's just like, it seems like every time more and more of this stuff happens, but it's hard because, you know, I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm trying to sell an early access game that's, you know, frequently updated and worth the investment, and but meanwhile people are going to get scared off because of all these other kind of scuzzy practices.
You're just showing how it's done right. Like, people should be envying the way that you do it.
No, that's very true. That's very true.
Like,
It's just communication, like, just telling people, like, giving them a reasonable expectation of what you're working on, what your timelines are. You know, I've tried really hard to not promise something that I know, like a level editor. I've been very, very clear, like, I can't promise this is going to happen before launch. I'd love to do it. Like, it would be amazing, but it's, like, only if something ridiculous happens, you know, if it takes off in a way that, like, easy has. Nice. Yeah, see, it's crazy. Roth, yeah, send me a tweet with a link to your music. I'd love to check it out. You know, like I said, a lot of the music in the game is just from people contacting me, so...
I'm glad we did this level.
God.
I love the update to this level. I was actually telling my wife about it, and that before this level kind of seemed like a bit of a cluster
Yeah,
in the middle, and just the addition of this second level like changes the dynamic of the level completely.
Yeah, it was really fun to update this level because it was one of my... It was just too crazy before, like, it just never worked.
I had fun. I admit I had lots of fun in this level.
Yeah. But I think yeah, this adds some pretty interesting, like, high-level, low-level interaction here. It was also one of the first ones where I was really playing around with light mapping.
Oh yeah.
There's all these, like, shadows of the grates on the floor to the side. And those are all baked in, so they're not real-time shadows, because otherwise this would be a horribly performing...
Oh yeah.
That's just a ton of shadows, so... I think the light levels aren't quite right. Like, I'm brand new to light mapping, and it takes, 20 minutes every time you want to take a look at it. So it's hard to get the settings just right. So I would say it's a little too bright right now. I want to get it back to that, dark club where you just see the laser lights. Is it just me? It's just me left.
Just you left, yeah.
I concentrate on winning. Not gonna happen. Nope.
Oh, gets a catch.
And
RPG's in.
I was so shocked that I thought that I was.
Bad. I don't even bro.
I've been practicing my catch skills lately.
Oh, what the hell?
But then you're alive again because I caught the ball.
Yeah.
So now it's on you.
I also wanted to bring up, I love the classic dodgeball rules that you put into this.
Oh, with elimination? Yeah.
Yeah, the elimination is it's so well done.
It's so tense. It's just everything matters so much more when you're. I guess it's kind of the Counter-Strike model, right? Where if you're out for that round. The thing is, like, the rounds don't last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So you're out, and you're like, oh, that's a bummer. But then you're right back in it, and it's a little less rage-inducing, I think.
Oh, I accidentally picked the ball
So
up.
bad at Counter-Strike. It's not even.
I never even played it. I'll be the first to say it.
I haven't played it.
So let's talk. Oh, I finally got one. Whee! Whee!
Damn it. So, I call myself Quick Draw McGraw.
Yeah.
I should be calling myself Ricochet McGraw. Because I have 177 ricochets and 121 quick draws.
Wow.
So all those stats are tracked, and I really want to create leaderboards, or give people the ability to view the leaderboards on that, because I think it would just be fun to see, like, oh, I happen to do a lot of ricochets. I wonder how I stand, like, compared to everyone else in the world on that.
Yeah. Oh, missed!
I got my first helicopter. What was it on August 22nd? Just like, I need to do this. I need to do this.
Like, frame it.
I just relished.
Okay, so let's talk about the biggest change, or at least what I would call the biggest change in the power-ups. I'm guessing it. Oh, that 43-meter catch.
That was pretty awesome. Saved my butt.
Oh, and 37-meter hit. Oh, okay. Sorry, power-ups. Want to talk about them. Yeah. Did you take any community feedback when you were making them, or was it something you knew every power-up that you wanted in the game and you just implemented it?
Good question. So it's all kind of blended together. I'm sure there's been some of those. Let me think. So there's a homing dodgeball. I think that was a community suggestion.
Okay.
And that's my favorite one, and I just got the winning kill with one. So
nice.
I feel like jetpacks were something I just wanted to have for a while, so that one might have been me. The grip one, I think, was me. It's a mix, and honestly, I've done so many conversations all the time with people that I almost forget where the ideas come from. Like, if someone gives me a very particularly unique idea, I'll try to write that down in my notes, like where I got it.
Yeah.
In case I need to know for later, but it's kind of this conversation of what the game kind of needs and what would be neat for it, and I just felt that the core of the game is fun, right? Throwing the dodgeballs around, but there's something about a power up that it slightly changes that round for you. It's like, oh, now I have a jetpack, I can kind of behave a little differently in this round, and suddenly the rules change a bit, and so it gives the game, because it's at the core a simple game, it needs a little bit more, I'd say, spice.
Yeah.
And I think the power-ups kind of go down that direction pretty well.
You know what you should do? You should implement Inception mode, where the entire playing field rotates.
So I haven't messed with the physics of that, but I bet it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, totally.
Unity, right? So I can just create a platform. Oh god, hold on.
Oh, there's an excellent question actually in the game chat. If you catch a ball, does it steal the power up?
Oh, it does. Well, it doesn't, but it probably
that's
could.
That's the developer.
Don't give them any more ideas.
Oh, was that in the in-game chat?
Yeah, that was the in-game chat.
Yeah, no, I like that. So I'd kind of been thinking about stealing power-ups, but if you just if you get it every time you KO someone, that's almost too easy. Then it's like too easy to get the power-ups from them. But catching it, like that, the fiction of that somehow like works a lot better. You're like, oh, of course, you're like stealing their power.
Yeah, totally.
It's like show-off move as well. So I like that. I might actually do that. Do you remember which that Jerry or
I'm not sure.
better person?
Are you out of it already?
No, it's the Spivvy. That's who it was that said it.
Oh, Epic Snivy. Yeah. So that's amazing. I'll probably end up doing that.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's a neat idea. It's it works well in Bomberman. Although it's something that you can set, like if you want it or not. So that could be a good option as well.
Ah, nice. Right, so a lot of the work I'd done in one of the latest updates was changing the match settings panel. Good game, Blue, by the way. They're just killing us.
Yeah.
Except now it's 3-2, so we'll probably have some better shots.
Yeah.
So previously the match panel was like a bunch of pop-ups and stuff that I had to manually position and fill with values. And stupidly, I actually had two different panels, one for the lobby and one for while you're in a game. And I know that sounds like a little thing, but working on UI stuff is like super tedious. It's a huge pain. And so then like every time I wanted to add an option, I had to like, readjust the layout of everything, and it was just made it impossible. So now it's like this pure data-driven list, which sounds like super boring, but as a developer, it's so exciting because like if I want to add a new option, the UI component is just kind of done. I just say like, add this list. Here's the possible values. This is the kind of storage key for it, and then go from there. So that was one of the recent additions was the streamer mode, and it was pretty easy to add because I didn't need to mess with the UI at all. So eventually then I can add a bunch of these other options. So, how long is the respawn time? How many dodgeballs are there in the room? Maybe what's the score value for these certain types of kills?
Oh, yeah.
Do you shuffle teams on the end? Like all these different things that people wanted, I can now add pretty easily because it's all just one big list.
That's cool. That's a lot of possibilities, too.
Yeah. It's one of those things like, it wasn't fun to go through and update all the menus like that, but like, now that that's done, it's like, this opens up a ton of new options for me, so. That's the development process is kind of this mix of fun stuff you want to do and annoying stuff you have to do. Like building new game modes is like super fun, and I want to do that all the time. And with menus is not fun in the slightest. I want to just hire someone that builds all the menus for me.
Yeah, I could understand that.
And I'm not even good at it too. I have no sense for like graphic layout design, so it's just
cornered him.
Nice
homing. I had homing. I just had 4 balls and 4
homing
kills.
work? I know that it gets like it zooms in and everything, but
actually, that was one thing I wanted to ask with homing, because obviously, the way that it works is your reticle, like when you mouse over somebody, it gets a small reticle that'll like zone in.
Yep.
But how much playtesting went into defining how much homing it actually had?
So a fair bit on my side. Like I would give the bots powers and made sure that you could dodge them if you knew they were coming, but but that also as a player that it felt powerful enough. Oh man, the helicopter.
Oh man.
That it was worthwhile. And I actually in the latest update, I did make it a little bit stronger because I did hear some feedback that it wasn't as useful.
Yeah.
That people were like, I can't really tell that it's working, and didn't really get the point. Like we're having this conversation right now, right? So.
Yeah, exactly.
So it should be a little more noticeable next time. The catch is if it's too strong, then it just feels unfair. So it's a very tough balance. But I think it should be a little better now.
Luckily, the way that you use early access too, because you've done so much work to garner such a good community. Wins with a catch!
Very nice.
You have endless amounts of playtesters that are willing to help.
Yeah, I love the early access model. It's such an amazing thing. Like the game wouldn't be possible if early access didn't exist.
Yeah.
And it's made the game. Nice shot again.
Thank you.
4-4, so we got match point right here.
Oh, snap.
It's made the game so much better. Oh, I got bounced out too.
Whoa! That was ridiculous. I went all the way across and actually hit him before his armor fell off.
Oh, nice.
Oh!
That's like a total lucky ricochet.
Clutch!
Nerf Arena Blast. I don't think I ever checked that out. That sounds pretty fun. Someone in the chat was...
Oh, yeah. I remember Nerf Arena Blast. That's Yin in the chat. They were also guests on the show. And they had a Kickstarter go live today.
Congrats. What's it called? What's it for?
It's a Celestial Tier Demon's Revenge. It's like a JRPG, but with comic book graphics. It's really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
I didn't do anything that round. My bad, guys.
I keep thinking that I hope I can do something, but it never works.
Like, ooh, maybe this time.
It's like, maybe I can catch a ball, but they're at the ball before I can
You're
get
getting
the ball.
so frustrated.
But yeah, in particular, all these different game modes, a lot of those have come from players. And they're all just like really good, interesting ideas. Like Hoops was absolutely user idea, and that's probably one of my favorite modes. So.
And it's changed a lot since your initial
Yeah, it has.
game of Hoops.
Oh, he caught my super big ball.
So the original Hoops you could score with any dodgeball, which I thought was cool, but it turns out you never needed to interact with any of the players. It was just this mad dash to grab a dodgeball, throw it through your hoop, and there was really no tension or drama with each match. And now that you can only score that one golden ball, now you're fighting over this one thing, and it becomes more like a game of rugby where you're just like destroying each other, trying to like drag it back and forth.
Damn it!
And
These guys are so good!
Oh, nice.
There. Sorry, I had to link that Kickstarter.
Nope, that's cool. Yeah, so it's this funny. Also, Demolition Derby, I think it is a lot better. It's probably not played that much, just because I think people are busy with the other modes. But originally, that was also just kind of race around, and you could just kind of do it on your own, and every checkpoint you hit, you got a point.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I guess we won, and it wasn't really that exciting. But now it's like only the leader.
Oh!
Nice. And now there's all this drama around, like, you know, can we stop that one player from hitting that last checkpoint? And it's just, you know, one of those things you have to play test and find out, and that's another reason why early access is great for that.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually, like, play it live with a bunch of players and be like, yeah, this works, or no, this kind of is boring and needs some tweaks. So.
Nice, Giant.
Oh yeah, 2 in a row. I'm actually doing something that's not losing.
Huzzah.
Something related to
Oh,
winning.
I'm trying to catch that one.
Oh god.
But he was the better person. Oh dear, sorry.
How dare you?
I
How
had
dare
to.
you?
I had to.
Oh yeah, that was another thing we always say about this game. It inspires the most weird noises.
Yeah. Oh, you are not kidding. In any stream I have of this game, I love streaming this game with like, you know, viewers and that kind of thing, because it's a fun game to do that with. Yeah. But it's hard to have any kind of conversation.
Yeah. If you're just like so... Well, it's one thing or the other. You're either having a good conversation or you're playing well.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm just kind of on, like, I'm trying to win, but I'm pretty much...
you have to make a choice.
Game.
But that's one of the things. It gets so engaging, this game. Is I think what that really comes down to.
Yeah.
And you're so engaged that you'll be in the middle of a sentence and then just all of a sudden, ah! Oh, phew, that was close.
Forget what you're saying.
Yeah.
There we go.
Nice.
Finish that up. Yeah, there's... And I think that was the thing about... you know, when I launched... Well, kind of put the alpha out there after 2 weeks. That there's just something, like, really fun about the core of it. Just like the projectile combat. And everything has kind of fallen into place since then.
Yeah, totally.
The whole kind of philosophy behind the game is that projectile combat in its just very nature is just way more fun than, like, you know, Call of Duty just clicking on someone and like spamming machine gun bullets at them. I don't know. Maybe I've talked about
You
this
know-
last time I was on, but it definitely seems to kind of prove that out. That just hitting things with things is just like intrinsically fun, and you can just do it forever.
That'll be what the next
subtly-
Call of Duty game will be called. Call of Duty, hitting things with things.
I love Dodgeball.
Subtly, you're saying that Battlefield is better than Call of Duty. I'm just putting that out there.
Oh, do they have more projectile
Don't
stuff?
Yeah,
start
oh
no
yeah, they
wars
focus
now.
on the realism with bullet drop and blah, 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 all that kind of thing.
Oh, because they follow a natural, like, they follow with distance and...
Yeah, exactly. Wow, that's crazy. Or Tribes. But Tribes has always been, much like you, the projectile game is much more fun.
Yeah. And my experience of that was GoldenEye.
Oh,
And again, I may have told you guys this before, but in case anyone else is, anyone new is listening, we would put on License to Kill, and which is one hit, one kill, and do all throwing knives. Where is the other? Oh, that's funny.
So IndieTap is asking, are there other maps? Which, yes, there so very much are. And will the user be able to upload or mod maps?
Yeah. So, there's other maps. Yes. There's no level editor yet. There's no real like modding support yet. That's something I'm kind of saving because it's a nice catch.
Yeah.
Saving that as basically a post-launch feature. It's the kind of thing that would delay the game like 2 or 3 months. I really need to see if the game, like, you kind of judge the investment in a game based on its response. Right now, the response is good, but it's not like DayZ levels where I have millions of dollars and I can just like hire a bunch of people and like just go crazy, right?
Yeah.
And something like mod support, something like a level editor, greatly increases the risk and investment. And so, once the game's launching and I have a better idea of kind of what the final audience is going to be, hold on.
Are you still? Are you
Nice.
still setting up for the voice packs?
Right, yeah, so I'd love to, like, I have all these amazing plans for, like, people being able to create their own kind of custom items and share them and sell them just like TF2. Create their own levels, create their own level decorations, and then, share or sell those, whatever.
Yeah.
I went to a talk at Valve's Steam Developer Days conference, and they just gave an amazing talk about, you're creating an economy with players, and so the players can invest time and get paid for what they're doing, and that way everybody also wins because then everybody gets a ton of content. All the players, the people creating it are happy because they have people like using and buying their stuff, and it's not some like stupid free-to-play model where it's like, oh, like you ran out of energy, you need to spend another $1 or something, right? It's just
Yeah.
like this, like economy that you can build. And I think Dodgeball would be such an amazing format for that. And so I would love to eventually take the game in that direction. But, like, it's tough to get that off the ground without a ton of content already. Like, launching a workshop and it's empty, it's a little tough, right? So I need to, like, have a bunch of customization options already in so people can kind of see what they can do. And it obviously also needs a much bigger audience before, like, you're going to get enough content to make it worthwhile. No one's going to spend 100 hours building something if they're only going to sell like 10 copies of it. So it's one of those things that just has to come in its own correct time.
Very true.
Both for me and for the audience. But I can see it being amazing for the game. And if at all possible, I'm going to try to make that happen. Because I just love to see it. I just love to see everyone's little custom robots and their own custom levels. Like, the levels don't need to be complicated to be interesting.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see what people come up with. So it's definitely a big priority.
Reuben Sandwich the first.
Love it.
Love it.
Oh, better person. You're not a
And
better person.
you! IndieTap says, sounds like a good plan, very well said. And I completely agree. I think that creating an economy for this game would go hand in hand with the way that you've built it already.
Mm-hmm. Right, it seems like the kind of thing like Lego blocks, like you could just add on to it, and just every, like the core is good, and so that means every little thing you add on to it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not hitting me!
Giggle.
Seriously, I went between them and they didn't hit me. I was so confused by it.
How did we not double team him? Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I think in terms of, I guess maybe the next thing to talk about then would be kind of what's on the must-do list before I release it, right? Like, I don't want this game to be forever in early access.
Yeah,
I want there to be like a definite endpoint, and then I can say, okay, it's ready. It won't have that early access stigma. It'll be like done. But obviously, it would save some really cool stuff to add later if the opportunity is there, right? So, so I think adding all those single-player modes, I want to have like 6 or 8 of them. Kind of in that range of stuff. Then they all have leaderboards. They all have kind of these progression systems where you can upgrade your bot based on how much you've been playing.
So that's actually in the times that we've talked to you, that is probably the first time that you have brought up releasing.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to hear that you're thinking about that, because I mean, this game is amazing and you've had an amazing community thus far with it, and I would love to see what happens with an actual release.
I know, and so it's kind of nerve-wracking because you never know. So what I would like to think is there's a bunch of people that have been waiting to buy it, but they see early access, so they're holding off, or like a lot of publications maybe won't talk about it because it's not like done yet, right? And there's a ton of games in early access that not worth it yet, and so it's like that there's this kind of build-up of anticipation for it. On the other hand, it's really hard to tell that, and I think it's would be a really bad move if I just assumed that when I'm like, okay, I'm gonna flip the switch, and then all of a sudden like
and then money,
right? And so what I'm also testing with early access is like, how much traction does the game have on its own? And so I'm getting new players at a constant rate, and you can see like the average play time kind of slowly creeping up, but it's not like, the average play time is maybe like, or the median play time is like an hour and a half. And there's, there are people that have been playing it for 20, 30, 40 hours. Yeah. But I want to kind of push that up. And to me, like, showing that people can play this game for 5-10 hours on average means that, okay, now it's ready for, when I launch it, the people that see it are then going to be way more into it than if I launched it right now.
Totally. And the one side point I was going to bring up is you're right about the publications. And that, like, there's, at least with our magazine, with Indie Game Magazine, there is a very strict amount of times that we will have a game in our articles. And, like, release is one of the last ones that we would definitely do. And because we've done, like, a preview, I think, of the game, I think we have. If we haven't, we should. But either way, if a preview has been done, then we're not going to update again with the game until it releases. So.
Right. And so I also think, so there's one giant question mark between now and launch, and a lot of that is around the art. Like the feature set, I pretty much know like what I need to add and what the game needs. But art-wise, it could be way more than it is now. So it definitely needs to be better. And the question is like, will it be a little bit better, or just like, or crazy better? And so I'm actually considering a Kickstarter of my own. To basically say, here's the game. Like, it's fun. You can play it. Here's a demo. The goal is I want to invest a lot in art. Like, that's something that I just can't. It doesn't matter how many hours I sink into it. I'll never be able to make it look good. I need to start just like.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Considering the fact that we thought it looked awesome when it was just an exclamation mark.
Yeah, we loved it. But I mean, back then too, the gameplay spoke more for the game than the art did.
Yeah.
And I think in a way, it reaches a point where, the better it looks, the more you expect out of it.
Yeah, that's true.
So I definitely think at the beginning, everyone just knew it looked like crap, but you're like, hey, it's fun, like, whatever. Just don't die.
Hey, whatever.
And I actually,
what's fun about it?
Sorry?
Oh no, he's just doing a quote.
Right. So like, you play this game and it looks like, originally the alpha, it looks like complete garbage, but you're having fun because whatever, it like looks like a crappy free alpha. So, but as I've added kind of these, Unity asset store textures and like messed around with a little bit of lighting and stuff, it it looks better, but it looks like it's someone that's trying to make it look better that doesn't know what they're doing. Like, honestly.
Oh, I
like,
see.
It's like, it looks kind of cool, but like if you actually like put it in screenshots next to other games, particularly ones that are like on early access, you still see like, it doesn't really look all that professional. And so I think it's kind of a case of more is less, where the better I try to make it look, it actually kind of looks a little bit. So I would really like to hire some artists and designers to go through and create these kind of interactive light sculptures to decorate the arenas and give me a whole bunch of textures and just design advice. Like, how do I make these look and feel like dance clubs? And what I want to do is kind of just say, I'll run a Kickstarter with like a pretty modest goal.
Yeah.
And say, with this much money, I can absolutely make these improvements, add these features. But have all these kind of stretch goals that say, yeah, but if I raise, this much, have these artists lined up, have these kind of voiceover people lined up, say like, I can get these people in the game, I can get this artist that you love, and have some concept art for where the game kind of can be if it reaches those funding levels.
Honestly, you are pretty perfectly poised for that kind of a Kickstarter, because you don't. The main thing you can say in it is, hey, if you wanna back this Kickstarter, like, this game is done, or not done, but this game is like 85% done. You want to check out what it's like? Here you go. Here's a demo, and throw in just like 1 or 2 game modes of the game, and then you're good to go. Then you're not, because you don't want to just give out the game free, obviously, for the people that have picked it up on Steam. But you can also have a modest, like, you don't have to do a 30 grand because you're not building the game from scratch, which means that you have a lot of leeway there. But with the amount of community and the amount of push that you already have, I could easily see that Kickstarter making it very quickly.
Right. And the kind of paradox, right, is like you need to show a game that, okay, but aside from the fact if you're already famous, you can do whatever the hell you want, right? Like if you're Tim Schafer, you can just like put up a screenshot and you'll get 1 million. So so besides that, but like you need to show that like the game is done enough that it's impressive. But if it's too done, then they're like, well, then why am I...
Yeah, what's a Kickstarter for?
Even if the risk is small, there's still a risk with the Kickstarter. I'll just wait until it's done. Yeah. And so kind of the risk is, or the challenge is making that that pitch and I guess like explaining why the funding is helpful now. The other big catch is like it's on early access, right? And it's making money. But it's still not at the point where like I feel comfortable risking 30 to 40 grand.
Yeah.
Because you just don't know if it's gonna keep making money or how it's gonna do on launch.
Yeah.
And then so it's definitely like mitigating on risk. And then the last bit is sometimes with a Kickstarter, like it can be a good way to just get new people in the game. Or like it's reaching audiences that you haven't seen, and I know it's a ton of extra work, but it can be a pretty effective just PR exercise. Like getting people excited about the game, getting all your trailers and screenshots good to go, and hopefully you get a bunch of people that are like buy into the concept and love it and want to see it grow a little more. So I'm hoping that something like that happens where people say, oh, this game's great, I want something like this, here's some money so that you can make it better. But it's there's obviously a ton of challenges, and there's so many Kickstarters happening, it's a little hard to get there.
That's very true. That is very true.
And so it's just more battles, but it might pay off. So I'll probably start thinking about getting that going kind of soon.
Would you like set up a demo version of the game, like just limited?
Yeah,
everything?
Absolutely. So I would
You'd have to.
I would have just I might actually do a multiplayer demo to kind of prove out that the multiplayer works.
Oh, that's a good idea.
But it would only have like one level or a couple game modes, or maybe the game will just be most of it, but it'll just be time limited, right? So then when like the last week, you'd be like, oh, okay, that was the demo. If you want to see that, it's a good time to pitch in something. So
it would be interesting to see what would happen, considering you have a considerably large fan base as well. So there's that.
Yeah. And if I could, give some special in-game items like...
what? I know what you need to do. You need to make 3D printed robots.
Oh yeah? Totally.
And then use those...
Or sell, I know. Or make find a place that does cardboard robot heads.
So I live near MIT.
Oh, really?
If I could,
Nerd
like,
power!
That would.
convince some students to make that a project, like a dodgeball throwing robot
Yeah, that'd do it.
with technology that's totally student. That's possible on a student
I
level.
just thought of the best thing ever. Disco Dodgeball, the board game.
Yeah, I don't know about that, Jen.
Well, so Wizard Dodgeball is a board game that's based on dodgeball with like some D&D aspects to it. So there is a dodgeball board game. So another thing I would love to do, maybe this would be a stretch goal on the Kickstarter, is rent a bunch of Segways and then like rent out a dance hall around Boston.
Yes.
Like actually make it happen in real life.
If I had the money, I would make the trip just for that.
I think that, like, you know, if the Kickstarter hits $1 million, I will film that. Like,
Yeah.
I'll just happen because, like, I'm sure I could make that happen for less than $1 million. So, if anything, it would be a great like excuse to do it.
Get the fans to dress up as robots, cardboard robots, and then make it the ultimate robot dodgeball tournament. That'd
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
amazing.
That would be so good. And then one of the, like, the big prizes could be you get to participate in this event.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
We'll like rent Segways. I wonder how much.
What was I-
The thing is, I would probably have to sign some waiver that says like I'm not gonna like do a demolition derby with the Segway when I rent it. And like I bring them back and they're all busted and covered in glitter and
Just leave him in the parking lot and walk away.
here you go.
That's funny. I was gonna say for this is total business segue, and my apologies, but I know for coverage what IGM has been doing. We just started it last month, and it was actually quite successful. We're doing it again this month, and the Kickstarter that I was talking about just did this as well. But wow, did we already lose that round?
Yeah, it was a quick round.
Holy guacamole!
Snippy.
Know exactly where they're. Whoa.
Oh my
We've been-
god.
We've been giving a bunch of exposure to new Kickstarters by throwing it up on indiegamemag.com.
Okay.
And what we've been doing is rather than do a cost or anything like that, I think we have at the $50 level that we include a free 1-year subscription to IGM. And that's kind of like the kickback. I'm not sure. You'd have to talk to my, to Vinny. Vinny Parisi would know more about it. But if that's an option that you'd be thinking of with a Kickstarter, I mean, totally hit us up, man.
Okay. Yeah,
You
that would
would
be.
pimp the shit out of your stuff.
Also be good to cross
Cross promotion.
promote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vinny's very proud of himself right now. He put a widget up on the site for our magazine, and like you're getting so frustrated.
He's. My problem is that I keep doing the same thing over and over again, and he knows exactly where to go.
Yeah.
So I'm being an idiot.
I just took them out if that makes you feel any better.
Yeah, I saw that. I took 2 of them out.
All right, 4-1. So here we go. We're gonna come back and win
that
Yeah.
was-
5-4.
Here we go. What was I going to say? So he put on a widget, and like our magazine before was not getting that many views, but then in like 1 week we got like 250,000. So he's just
Nice.
like going around work the entire time, like, oh, look at what I did! It's so cool, and it is really cool, Vinny, if you're watching. But yeah,
And they're coming from Kickstarters.
yeah, a lot of it is. So it's a good way. Like I've been wanting to figure out a way to get back to the Kickstarters that we do. Because I mean, we do a Sunday episode where we show off Kickstarters and try and get them a bit of promotion.
Sure.
And then I was like, if we start, I wanted to make a fund for IGM where we actually back Kickstarters, but this is kind of what we're doing in the interim to try and give back to the Kickstarter community and the indie community is a good
Sure.
way to do it.
Right, because they get the benefit as well.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
exposure. Oh my god, it's
Amazing
me on
you're
4,
getting- yeah,
and
amazing
you're
that you
just
haven't died yet. You're
throwing
just-
dodgeballs everywhere.
Ooh,
and
the
I don't
one
know
down,
how
one
I'm
down.
alive.
You can do this, and then Epic Snivvy's just
Oh
sort
my
of.
God.
So
Oh
many
my
catches.
Blaze.
Just made so many catches.
Fortunately, I have this monster truck tire, which is giving me like really good grip and dodging abilities.
Yeah.
I think it's a very underrated power-up. I really enjoy when I have that traction.
The first time I picked it up, I was like, monster truck
Whoa.
tire. I was like, that
Right.
one is all
One on
Eric.
one now.
It sounds a lot cooler than it is. I need to find a way to make it cool, but I've come back from Oh man, that ramp.
Call it R spec.
Yes.
Nice.
The ricochet.
Wow.
Or should call it R compound grip, because that's what they use. Oh man, I just got launched. Oh no.
That or just you like how you do your bigger balls. Just have the tire get bigger.
Yeah. That definitely needs to happen. Where you just get this massive, actual giant truck tire on your butt.
Yeah. Also, what's up, Mirror Mask? It's good to see you, buddy. Mirror Mask is in the chat.
Oh.
So the players like all in my face. There we go.
We
So
Oh, wow.
it's just selling ad space. Okay, 44.
Yeah,
Here we go.
I was-
Need to come back.
Oh my God, you called it. I was just gonna bring that up though, throwing ads in here. It works for Anarchy Online.
It would kind of throw off the
The aesthetic.
4-1. Who's left?
Wow.
Weed Panda.
Wow.
Somehow I don't think Weed Panda's gonna be the one to. Oh. I had so much hope for Weed Panda.
I don't know what to say about that.
It's awesome.
That's funny. Wow.
So the thing is, having ad space in game would kind of like, unless they were like futuristic ads, but
Yeah.
it wouldn't really, because this is supposed to take place in like 20,000 AD after the Earth was blown up. So
Yet they still have Dodgeball.
yeah,
I
Do
want to hear more. Do you have like a full storyline
Yeah, you should make a full.
Can you just
storyline on
like
this.
give us the storyline?
Oh, good.
Yes,
The Great Mighty
so-
Poo Joint.
So basically, a bunch of aliens were kind of messing around with the space fireworks, and they accidentally blew up the Earth. And they felt, like really bad about it. They're kind of like these like redneck aliens that they don't really know what they're doing. They're just messing around.
What was that
Yeah.
They felt really bad about blowing up the Earth, and so we should like create some kind of monument to them, or like remember like what they were all about somehow. And so they went around and like they were like studying all the kind of light waves and stuff. They were still like traveling through space, trying to piece together like, okay, figuring out what was Earth about. They're measuring like television waves and all that stuff that's still flying through space. But they're like pretty lazy, and they didn't really do a very good job. And so they just like pieced together a couple of pieces of information that like, okay, so they like dance clubs and here a little bit of dodgeball, and like, okay, I guess they were pretty much a race of people that just play dodgeball. And so that just became like the only thing of Earth that ever survived, were these like were these things. And then they're like, so okay, in memory of Earth, we'll have like this annual tournament of where we all play dodgeball in a dance club, and then whoever wins becomes president of the galaxy for the next year. Or so.
That is
They were
so
known as
dark for the
dodgeball.
game that this is. I love it. I love it.
It's kind of like the point of it is that the story doesn't matter at all. So I
Yeah.
just like. It's like the first thing that came to my head. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. We'll go with it.
You are
Yes.
going to see comics and fan art of this.
Have I seen it or?
No, you-
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had fan art.
Oh
remember?
yeah. I would love. Oh, nice.
We had fan art of this.
Did we?
My first mod, her friend made the fan art.
I thought it was just your logo.
No.
Well then.
I'll
How
have
did I
to
miss
pick that
you?
up. But yeah, the one fan art that I've seen of this was it was a pinup of like a lady robot, and she was like posing with a dodgeball. It was so awesome. It was like a
Okay.
50s pinup.
If you see that, send it to me because I feel like I somehow missed that.
Okay, sure. I'm sure I have it on my computer actually.
There have been a couple pieces of fan art that are amazing. It's like it's just amazing to see, but some of them are just like really good and like hilarious, like really kind of cartoony, and pick up the character of these silly robots pretty well. So I haven't quite decided with trading cards if I just want to use, with permission and compensation, like use some of the fan art that's been created.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I just fell through the floor.
That's what you
Oh
get.
yeah.
That was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool. There's also same thing with the music. There's a bunch of just artists that I see on Twitter that are doing amazing things, and I'd love to, give them whatever platform that I can.
Yeah.
And they're all like amazing people, and they all have different styles, and just see like what is 8 different people's interpretation of dodgeball. and one would be like all pixel art, one would be kind of more painterly, and just see like how everyone takes that in a new direction. And so I don't know, like I love both of those ideas. Like I love the idea of like giving fan art some exposure, but also like having these like just amazingly good artists create a bunch of custom art would be a lot of fun too. So I haven't quite decided which way I'm going to go on that. It's kind of tough. What do you guys think? Which one do you think would be cooler to see as trading cards?
I'm a fan of. Well, I mean, if you are able to get fan art from wherever you get it from, it's a really cool way to give back to your own community as well. I mean, you come into the logistics of like how much do you want to pay for the art, or do you want to give them shoutouts, or the logistics of that. But I think it would be pretty easy to actually. An alley-oop.
Whoa, mid-air KO assist.
Yeah. I think it would be pretty easy to navigate that. And I think it would be much appreciated and a good shout back to your own community.
Sure. So honestly, the business person in me says like, yeah, but like, some of these artists, they're not going to have 100,000 fans, but some of them have a couple thousand fans on Twitter, and like maybe that could bring a little like exposure to communities that like don't know about the game yet. So that's the other kind of angle, is like one of those paths that would probably get me a little more exposure.
That's very true.
To other people, and so maybe I'll find like some other way to incorporate fan art, like maybe include it in like loading screens or something.
I was going to suggest,
or like make them unlockables or some kind of reward, right, for reaching certain levels.
Oh, cool.
I guess the other part with Steam, you can also, as part of the trading card kind of process, you can unlock wallpapers, and maybe some of those wallpapers can be some of the fan art that's been created. Yeah. So I think there's other ways I can work it in.
Going back to I think our first interview with Steam, when you were explaining the levels and that they don't actually do anything or matter.
Yes.
There's just kind of something there. One thing...
You unlock sunglasses, man.
Yeah. But if you had, like in your own garage, where you customize your character, if you turned it into an actual garage, that you could customize the garage, like put posters up and that kind of thing.
Well, that'd be awesome.
Then, as you leveled up, you could unlock posters, which were the fan art.
Oh, that's really good.
You could, yeah.
I don't know how easy
you could
that
also
would be
do
to
like
implement.
drag and drop stuff onto your character.
That'd be kind of cool too.
You know what?
Yeah.
I don't know how easy it'd be to implement, but it'd be kind of neat to see for sure.
So
I like that a lot.
We're done.
Holy, it's 9:05. Oh, that's what you're putting up.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, what? Ceci went online. Cool.
No.
I like talking to Derek.
I know. It's awesome.
This is going to become a 6-hour stream.
It goes way too much, but
Just fast.
It does, yeah. It goes very fast.
we have to let you go because you only wanted an hour.
I want to thank you, Eric, for being on the show. I mean, keep up with it, man. The more you have to update, the more I want to show this game off. And you're always a blast to have on the show. It's always a pleasure, and it's always super fun.
I know. It's crazy. And it goes way too fast.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for having me on. This is a ton of fun, and anytime you want, I'm happy to play some games with you. So.
And thanks for saving our asses tonight.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah. We never get into the logistics of anything, but yeah, we were looking for our second slot like an hour before the show started.
Perfect. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it's good. It's a good chance for me to also do some testing on the new version, and I guess it's running pretty well. So.
Yeah, working
it is
great.
Smooth.
And thank you to everybody that was in the game. I know they probably can't hear this, but that was a lot of fun. Like, those were some fun games. I'm glad to see the more experienced people in the community just flourishing in this game. Just whooping me and painting the wall with my red Canadian blood. All right. But from everybody here at Average Giants and IGM, guys, thank you so much for coming in and watching. This has been an awesome
It was
episode.
delightful.
Yeah. And thank you, my friend, who we will call Giant.
Scully Giant.
But until next time, much love, everybody, and we will see you all soon. Without the accent.
Another week and another game of awesomeness.